Greetings. My name is Tyler. This is the third week of July, and this is a reading vlog. This is a different spot than where I usually record. I had to bring my camera up while I was editing because I needed to transfer some footage, so I just decided to go ahead and record this. Now, it is July 15th, and I have finished Accidentally Wes Anderson. There's a dust jacket that goes to this. I just don't have it because this is a friend's book and I didn't want to destroy it. So I've just been reading this. I haven't talked about this at all. It's just kind of like a coffee table book. It's just pictures of places that look like they should be in a Wes Anderson movie. And then there's like information about those places. It was a pretty good book. I gave it 4 stars. It's not like reading a fiction book where there's like a plot or anything. It's just like learning random little bits and pieces. But there's lots of pretty pictures. There's some interesting things in here. I technically finished this last night and it should have been in the vlog, last week's vlog. But I had already closed the vlog for the week and it was like 10 o'clock at night and I wasn't gonna break out the camera and do all that, so I'll just put that here. I did also start reading a couple of books yesterday after I finished my Dark Vanessa. So I started Unsettling Truths, Ongoing Dehumanization Legacy of the Doctrine of Discovery. I'm unsure if I'm going to continue with this or not. I read the intro yesterday and both of the authors are Christian, and there was a lot of talk about, like, I don't know, it was just like a little more religious than I had anticipated when picking it up. But that was just the intro where they were introducing themselves and kind of like what they were hoping to achieve with this book. So I'll at least read one more chapter and see if that like Jesus vibe is going to continue or not, and decide then. I also started A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. I'm not necessarily loving this yet. I read a couple chapters. The chapters are pretty short, so that's good. I'm feeling a little meh about the writing style. It's like a little too quippy. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's also only like 280 some pages long, like the actual story. So as long as it's like not straight up like irritating to read, I'll probably continue with it. But if the style continues throughout the book, I can't foresee myself picking up another book by this author. But those are my thoughts currently. I'll check in when I finish something or have some other thoughts to share about a book. Bye. Greetings. It is July 17th and I have finished a book. I listened to, let's pull it up, Cultish, The Language of Fanaticism by Amanda Montell. I really can't tell you why I didn't really like this. I didn't have negative feelings while listening to it. I just didn't connect with it. I'm not really sure why. There is one part about multi-level marketing that for the most part I enjoyed, but the rest of it I just I don't know, I just didn't vibe with it. I didn't hate it, and it was only 8 hours long, so I just went ahead and listened to the whole thing, but I just didn't connect with it in a way that I was expecting. This is about like the linguistics of cults and cult-like organizations. So if that sounds interesting to you, you might like it. The author, Amanda Montell, is a linguist, and she also has a podcast about cults and cult-like things, I believe. However, this is not narrated by her. But if you like her podcast, you might like this book. Like I said, I really don't know why I didn't. It seems like something I should like. However, like it just didn't click with me for some reason. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars. But I do want to do a little check-in about the books that I am currently reading, mostly because I don't think I've talked about what I'm reading this week. Hi, I am just popping in to say that I have talked about those books before, so I cut out me repeating myself. So I'm just going to skip to the end of the clip where I talk about something that y'all haven't already heard in a previous clip. And then the other thing I am reading is Sundial. I finally started this, and I'm actually really enjoying this. I've only been reading it in bed because these other books have been kind of taking priority because I can't decide whether I want to keep reading them, so I keep forcing myself to read them and then still can't make a decision. That's besides the point. So I've only been reading this in bed, so I'm not very far in. I'm 25 pages in, but I'm really liking it so far. I mean, nothing really has happened. One of the kids has chickenpox. Her and her husband have a very toxic relationship, and that's like about it. But I am enjoying it, vibing with it so far. So yeah, I look forward to at least reading that some more. If I end up DNFing these two, I still have The Devil of Nanking, which I'll start next. And if I do end up DNFing these two kind of back to back sometime in the near future, I'll probably go ahead and start A Series of Unfortunate Events because that's what I want to do. But yeah, otherwise I am just waiting for some audiobooks that I have on hold, but I don't think any of those are going to check out to me anytime soon. So this is really just all I'm working on. Maybe I'll start one of the Harvard books that I bought, maybe Magma, because I don't know, shitty, weird relationships books are intriguing me lately, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do the church cult book. I don't know. Balls are in the air. Options are out there. I haven't made any decisions yet, but that's kind of where I'm sitting with my books currently. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Howdy. It's not long after that clip I just recorded. After I finished recording those clips, I sat down to read A Head Full of Ghosts, and I am DNFing it. Last night I stopped at the end of part 1, and I was feeling uncertain of whether I wanted to continue or not. Something about just the tone and the way it's written, like, just kind of rubs me the wrong way, in a way that I can't quite articulate. So I decided, I told myself, I'll read a chapter or 2 of part 2, and I'll decide after that. So I sat down, started reading, and I forgot that there is like a blogger that's talking about the TV show. And part 2 starts with this blog, and it is just insufferable to read. There is too much going on in this book. I don't like the way it's written. The like weird stuff that started to happen at the end of part 1 to like show that something weird's about to start happening. I just like didn't like the way those were written. I don't like how they like came out of nowhere basically. Didn't like that. And then I had to read this blog post that I had forgotten there was a blog post at the beginning of the book. And it's just insufferable to read, like absolutely insufferable. Having to read, let me see if I can find the page real quick. Okay, enough of that. For realsies this time. Let's get back to it. To the fictional possession of poor Marjorie Barrett, age 14. I don't know, there's just like all this like cringy, like internet speak in these blogs, and it's just so irritating to read, and I just can't get through a blog post. I just can't do it. I cannot do it. And if I somehow manage to force myself through this blog post and there's another one I have to read later in the book, I will die. So it's like right under 100 pages. It's like page 96 or something, and I'm calling it quits. I don't want to read the blog post. And if I read 100 pages, if I hit that 100-page mark, I know I'm going to force myself to finish the book. And then I know there will be, I just know in my bones, I know there's going to be another blog post in there and I'll want to die. So DNF, don't like it. I don't even think I'm going to even give it another shot. So Stephen King has let me down. Yeah, DNF. I think I'm probably just going to read Sundial today since I'm enjoying that. And get some pages in on that because I haven't gotten to read a lot of it yet. So that's my plan. I'll be returning this to the library. Yeah. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Howdy, y'all. It is July 19th, and here comes Tiger Cat. Come on. Come on. Okay, so I have some updates. Let's start with the most exciting. I finished Sundial by Catriona Ward. I should really look up to see if that's how her name is pronounced. This is an ARC copy that I got from a friend who let me have it. So I will say I'm not sure how much books change between ARC and finished copy, published copy. There's like obviously typos in here, but I don't know if I should expect that there will be like significant changes in like plot and things like that. But I am considering maybe buying a published copy just because I did really like this. I even like took some notes in here and I highlighted things and I was like picking up on like these little I don't know if it was metaphoric things, but like, I don't know, I was just picking up on these little hints and clues and stuff, which I usually just like don't pick up on when I read. And seeing, what is the word I'm looking for? Not reflections, but like mirroring. That's like the same thing. I don't know. I was just seeing things in the book that I just really enjoyed. I had a good time reading this. So on Sunday, I was on page 25, like Sunday at like 3 o'clock or something. And then by bedtime on Monday night, I was on page 250. So once I really had the time and opportunity to read this, I was reading the hell out of this. I had such a good time. I remember when I read the back, I was like, I don't really know if I'm gonna enjoy this. Like nothing really struck me as being something I naturally gravitate to. And so that, I think that's part of the reason it took me a little while to sit down and actually read this. But wow, really, really enjoyed this. I think I'm gonna pick up The Last House on Needless Street like as soon as possible, just because the writing was really, really good. It made me want to keep reading. So that sounds like a 5-star. It's not quite a 5-star. For most of the read, it was like 4.5. I felt like maybe, I don't know, it was kind of weird how I like didn't know the place or like the age of the children. However, I will say I read the first 25 pages over a course of a couple days because I was just reading it in bed, like a couple pages in bed before going to sleep while I was reading other stuff. So it's possible that the setting was set in the beginning and I just like forgot it by the time I really was able to sit down and like do nothing but read. So through the book, I was just kind of like, I feel like you're assuming I know some stuff and I don't. So it was like sitting at 4.5 stars. Around like 75%, there's like a reveal that I didn't like quite love. I didn't hate it, but it was like not my favorite thing ever. And I was like, maybe this is gonna be a 4. I understood why that plot choice was made. It like fits, it makes sense within the story. I just like didn't quite love that like trope, maybe, I guess. I don't know if it's really a trope. I don't think I've read it in something else. I just like didn't like it. But like it didn't ruin the book for me. I was like, I get it. And then the very last chapter, I didn't like. There's like a twist or a reveal in this last chapter, and it just felt like too much for me. It felt like I felt like I didn't need that, and like I didn't hate it. It didn't ruin the book for me. It's just like not something that I needed personally in this book. I didn't need that extra little bit. It felt like it was just too much. But it's still a 4-star read. I had such a good time. I mean, I'm still to the point where I'm considering buying my own copy. I highlighted stuff in here. I took notes. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff I liked in here. It is 2 perspectives and sometimes multiple POV. Can be a little difficult for me. Like I either like one or the other more. Didn't have that problem. Liked both Callie and Rob's perspectives. Some of the more supernatural elements of this I liked. The relationship between Rob and Irving was really interesting to me. The relationship between Rob and Jack, also interesting to me. There's just lots of interesting good stuff in here, and there's kind of a lot of different things going on. And I think she was really good at weaving them all together and tying them all together in a way that was satisfying for me. Like this wasn't super spooky necessarily, but it was good. It was good. Really like the atmosphere. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I thought it was really, really good. So yeah, 4 stars. On to other reading updates. I am DNFing Unsettling Truth. I'm just finding myself, I just don't want to pick it up. Whether it becomes more or less religious as the book goes on, don't have a clue. And I guess I just really don't care that much. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again at some point, but it's not going to happen this month at least. I started an audiobook. What is the audiobook? The Cruelty is the Point, The Past, Present, and Future of Trump's America by Adam Serwer. Mostly just picked this up as an audiobook to listen to. I haven't like been itching to read it, but I like Adam Serwer, and it's like only 8 hours long, so it'd be something to listen to while I'm eating lunch or things of that nature. And then the big news is the reason I wanted to finish this quickly is the new Sarah Gailey book is out, Just Like Home. And so I got my copy this morning and I get to dive into that now. I honestly don't know a damn thing about it. I saw the cover, it was beautiful. I saw that it was written by Sarah Gailey and I was like, bye. So I am so excited to dive into that. Hi, very weird angle, but as I was putting the book away, I remembered something about Sundial that kind of contributed to the not 5-starness. There are these chapters that are like parts of a book that Rob has written called Arrowwood, and I just didn't need it. I felt like I didn't get why they were there. She was apparently like writing this in her free time in her shitty relationship. But I just didn't know what that was offering to the story really. I would have been perfectly fine just knowing that she writes stuff without having to read the chapters from it, because I really didn't feel like it added much to it. They weren't bad to read or anything like that, and they were really short, so it wasn't like I was constantly having to read these bits and pieces of her writing. I just didn't get it. So I just wanted to stick that in here because I didn't want to forget to mention it. So, yep, that's it. Greetings, it's July 21st. I have some things to talk about. First, I am 60% into Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey, and right now I'm not exactly loving it. I am hoping to finish it today. I have like 130 pages left. But if I don't, I'll do a check-in tomorrow too and make this vlog a little bit longer to talk about it. Yeah, I don't know. Right now I'm just like not loving it. That's all I can really say. But I am holding out hope that maybe something at the end will pull this together for me. So we'll see. The other thing is, I meant to record yesterday and I just got distracted and forgot. But I did go to the library yesterday and I got another stack of big books. So I wanted to talk about those. I got The Last House on Needless Street because I absolutely loved Sundial. So I wanted to run and get this book. In a boarded-up house on a dead-end street at the end of wild Washington woods lives a family of 3, a teenage girl who isn't allowed outside, not after last time, a man who drinks alone in front of his TV trying to ignore the gaps in his memory, and a house cat who loves napping and reading the Bible. Unspeakable secrets bind them together, but when a new neighbor moves in next door, what is buried among the birch trees may come back to haunt them. So it seemed kind of in the same vein as Sundial, family drama horror sort of deal. I'm excited. And I feel like I've heard people like this more than Sundial. So I'm excited to dive into that. I also picked up Fierce Little Thing. They had this on display for a while and I keep picking it up. And then I was scrolling through my TBR on Goodreads and I realized it was on my TBR. Every time I picked it up at the library before, it didn't seem exactly like something I wanted to read. But the fact that it was on my TBR means that I had heard someone talk about it probably and they liked it. But also means maybe I have grown past it at this point. But it will be an easy enough to DNF book probably. Saska was a lonely teenager recovering from tragedy when she arrived at the lakeside Maine community called home. She was entranced by the tang of sourdough starter and the midnight call of loons and the triumph of foraging mushrooms. Abraham's home's charismatic leader made her feel special for surviving her past, not because he pitied her. And in the 4 other team homesteaders, she found a group of best friends who could do anything to stay together and protect their ideal from an outside world that they didn't understand. 2 decades later, Saska is estranged from the others. In fact, she's been shuttered in her Connecticut estate for years, when her carefully walled life is torn apart by threatening letters. Unless she and her former friends return to the land in rural Maine, the terrible thing they did as teenagers, their desperate last-ditch attempt to save home, will be revealed. From vastly different lives, the 5 return to confront their blackmailer and reckon with the horror that split them apart. How far will they go to bury their secret forever? So yeah, I can see the parts that like maybe don't appeal to me as much anymore. I'm getting kind of sick of kind of the thriller stuff where it's like, we did something bad 20 years ago and now we're going to talk about it from the present day and we're going to like string you along so it makes it this tense thing instead of just like telling the story. I'm getting kind of sick of it. And that's part of the issue I'm having with the new Sarah Gailey book. It's very much like, here's stuff that happened in the past, but we're not going to straightforwardly tell you what happened in the past because we also need this present day narrative. There's other things going on in that book that are also irritating me, but I just don't want to get into it yet without knowing the end of the book. In case it's like a spoiler or something. So yeah, I don't know. It will probably be easy enough to DNF. I'll probably be able to tell whether I like it or not pretty quickly. I also picked up a couple nonfiction. So I picked up Unreasonable, Black Lives, Police Power, and the Fourth Amendment. This is a new book they just got. And it is about the Fourth Amendment, policing, things of that nature. It stood out to me because I've been listening to 5 to 4, which is a legal podcast about the Supreme Court. And this touches on the Supreme Court, it touches on law, it touches on policing, things like that. So it seemed interesting to me. Sorry to dive into that. And then we picked up one other nonfiction, The Real Lolita, The Kidnapping of Sally Horner, and the novel that scandalized the world. Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita is one of the most beloved and notorious novels of all time, and yet very few of its readers know the subject of the novel was inspired by a real-life case, the 1948 abduction of 11-year-old Sally Horner, weaving together suspenseful narrative, crime narrative, cultural and social history, and literary investigation. The Real Lolita tells Sally Horner's full story for the very first time. Drawing upon extensive investigations, legal documents, public records, and interviews with remaining relatives, Sarah Weinman uncovers how much Nabokov knew of the Sally Horner case and the efforts he took to disguise that knowledge during the process of writing and publishing Lolita. Yeah, so that's what this is about. That stuck out to me because after reading My Dark Vanessa, Lolita is a big part of that. And so I also picked up Lolita because I was wanting to read it. I didn't realize it was such a chunky book. I thought it was a smaller book, like a novella sort of deal, but whatever. So I'm not really sure if I want to read Lolita first and then dive into The Real Lolita, or if I want to read The Real Lolita and then read, I was going to say The Real Lolita again, and then read the novel by Nabokov, Lolita. I don't know which order I want to do this in quite yet. But yeah, I might try Lolita first because I struggled with Pale Fire, which is also by Nabokov. I feel like I'm probably saying that wrong. I feel like my vowels are twisted up in there. I don't know. I might try that first because I struggled with Pale Fire, so I might need a little more time with it. Or I might need to get an audiobook maybe. I don't know. Anyways, so that is the goal. I still have The Devil of Nanking that's upstairs from my previous library haul. And my plan is to start that as soon as I finish Just Like Home. But otherwise, I will talk to y'all maybe hopefully later today when I have finished Just Like Home, or that's the hope anyways. But otherwise, I'll see y'all later. Greetings. It's the same day. The sun is incredibly bright. Let me see if I can... Well, that looks... Sorry, you'll just have to deal. Okay, it is still July 21st, and I have finished Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. Unfortunately, this is my least favorite Sarah Gailey book I have read. This one teeters on the edge of being the first one I have disliked, which is really unfortunate because I bought it. What do I want to say about this? I think honestly it teetered on 2 stars for most of the read. I am going to give it 3 stars because somewhere in the last like 15% there was an interesting like almost body horror element that I liked and did get a little reaction out of me. And it did get a little creepy gross horror for, I don't know, like 2 chapters or something, and I liked that. So that bumped it up to a 3 star for me, but overall I just really didn't like this very much. I wasn't invested in the characters. I felt like there was too much going on, but like not actually that much going on until like the last, I don't know, 20%. It's really a bummer. And to be quite honest, there have been other Sarah Gailey books I have read where I'm not super invested in the plot, but I really enjoyed the writing. However, I didn't really like the writing in this either. There's one thing I highlighted because like it just really felt like it kind of captured like why the writing was sitting so weird with me. She drew a slow breath and held it. She held it as she reached for the light switch on the wall beside the door, held it as she stroked her index finger over the off-white nub of the plastic, held it as she pressed her thumb to the underside of the switch and pushed gently, persistently up. Why did I need a whole paragraph about her turning on a light switch? It just felt so overwritten, like in the weirdest way. And there were multiple sections where I just like could not understand what was happening. Like part of that is like, you know, trying to set the tone of like something weird is going on with the house. But like I just didn't know what was going on more than once in a way that I was like, I don't think this is I don't want to say written poorly, but like it didn't feel like it was just a me issue. I was like, I don't know what the heck is going on here. So it's really quite a bummer. However, I get to lend it to a friend and maybe she'll like it more than I did. I think part of the issue also is just like this came off as a little plain. I don't know, like there was like one section that I like could not really have predicted, but like so much of it was not surprising and I felt like it was supposed to be surprising and it just felt very like old hat. Anyways, so I'm gonna lend this to a friend. Hopefully she'll like it. Unfortunately, it was just not a win for me, but got a whole bunch of other library books that I get to start now. Anyways, so I need to see how many books I have finished this week. Alright, I think I've finished 5 books this week. I finished Accidentally Wes Anderson, which I gave 4 stars. I finished My Dark Vanessa, which was 5 stars. Did I finish that this week? No, okay. Okay, so I finished 3 books this week. I finished Cultish, The Language of Fanaticism. That was 3 stars. I finished Sundial, which was 4 stars. Really enjoyed that one. And finished Just Like Home, which was 3 stars. 3 books. That's pretty good. I'm reading surprisingly more this month than I had anticipated at the beginning of the month. So that is good. This was just like an average week, but I actually really liked Sundial, so it doesn't feel like I had a bad reading week. So I will see you in some capacity at the end of July, beginning of August. All right, bye-bye.